Hey guys, Shawn Fury here with Shawn Fury's Hero Training School. So we just got done talking about needs and guardians of the good life, and we got a couple more to go, and should be done with this video. So another need we mentioned was balance, and balance looks like adherence to standards, right? So you may remember as a kid there was a cartoon called Captain Planet. If you're my age, you might remember that. Captain Planet was a cartoon that was really trying to teach people to care about the physical environment, right? About not polluting the earth and trying to get corporations to develop social responsibility so that we can sustain the earth and live here longer, right? That's very noble and obviously heroic. So Captain Planet would try to intervene on behalf of the earth and the environment and try to stop oil spills and toxic, breakdowns of things that were bad for the environment. And he would, bump up against the greedy tycoons or, the villainous corporate guy that didn't care about the environment. So in that way, Captain Planet very clearly was a guardian of the good life because guess what's one of the aspects of the good life? Adhering to standards, maintaining balance. And so you may have watched The Hunger Games recently. Katniss Everdeen, a female hero, very popular, several movies out. What's the big thing that she's facilitating for the people in her hometown, District 13, right? They start off very despairing and downtrodden and obviously oppressed by their leadership and the government there in their town or their I forget what the name of the city is, but my point is that when she becomes a victor in the Hunger Games, she overcomes adversity. And by overcoming adversity live on the TV show with the guy with the blue hair that's the host, right? She ends up um, role modeling hope and or optimism, and this provides that it facilitates that experience for her community. The people start to feel hopeful, and they start to look more optimistic to others, right? And they end up becoming more healthy, right? And so in that way, Katniss Everdeen is like Martin Luther King Jr. and Captain Planet, a fellow guardian of the good life, right? We mentioned earlier transparency. There was a very controversial figure in the news recently in America, Edward Snowden, right? Some people thought he might have been a terrorist because he allegedly leaked some secrets that he wasn't supposed to be talking about. Other people saw him as someone who perhaps was a guardian of the good life. I'll leave that as a question mark for you to decide. But for our purposes, I'd like you to recognize that by blowing the whistle on secrecy, right, the alleged secrecy, which I think now was proven, it went public, that certain groups were trying to get access to your emails and cell phone data through your cell phone and email companies without your consent, without the customer's consent. And that is obviously deceptive, right? Because you don't think anyone's taking your information without permission, without getting your consent first. And so by blowing the whistle on that, he facilitated the experience of transparency for who? For the citizens of the United States who don't want people to be snooping on them when they didn't do anything wrong, right? So that's part of your freedom, and you take that for granted, living in a free country. So that's an act of a guardian of the good life. And um, I'll wrap up with a fun one. John Lennon always sang about what? Give peace a chance, right? Ended up getting assassinated in his lifetime, right? And but what you don't know probably is that he actually had a lot of battles with uh, political groups who wanted to get him deported because he didn't support the Vietnam War, and he didn't think we should be killing people, all the time for money. So in this way, he was not only an intentional agent of constructive change, hero, he was also a guardian of the good life, right? That's the same thing, just different ways of saying it. His management style was certainly heroic, and he also had the effect of facilitating peace because he got people motivated to think about that and to put an end to the Vietnam War.